Announcing the commencement of the first purge.
I want you to change the world, and don't think that this is going to happen peacefully or you can do it alone. We need to kill the rich. You get out there, you use your weapons, and you rip Washington apart. You hunt down the billionaires, the bank bosses, the CEOs, the scumbags, and the liars, the governors, the lobbyists, the senators, because they're all the same, and you hang them.
Just remember all the good the purge does.
Good morning, everyone. It's October 27, 2018. I'm Eric. In this video, I'm going to discuss with you what you don't know can get you killed. And we're going to go over some things. This isn't necessarily for my usual subscriber. This is for people who would rather remain ignorant. So let's get started. First, let's look at ignorance is bliss. And I know you think that if you don't know about something, you don't have to worry about it. But eventually, when something happens, it's going to be right there in front of you, and you're not going to know what the fuck to do because you didn't want to know about it. And here we are at Grade Saver. It's a homework aid for students, but we're going to focus right here on this. This is from 1984. War is peace, freedom is slavery, ignorance is strength. I don't have to read any further. I already know what these things mean. But when you hear somebody say, that's Orwellian, what they mean is this, and this, and this. All these three things is doublespeak. Ignorance is not strength. It's not. It is strength for the government. It is strength for the people who rule over you. But for you, it's not strength. It's weakness. It's blindness. And you will often hear people say that they think freedom is slavery. And the reason why they think that is because when you're free, when you're actually free, and I'm not talking about this bullshit that we hear in this country about being free, because it's just that. It's bullshit. I'm talking about real freedom, where, I'll give you an example here. My adopted son recently got ripped off majorly. A big-ass four-wheel drive Suburban, a bunch of airsoft equipment, thousands of dollars. Now, in the society we live in, you have to go through certain channels to gain remedy. You have to go through the legal system to gain remedy. Okay? Now, in an actually free society, if you were actually free, you would be able to go over to those people's homes and take care of business without fear of state repercussion. And that's one of the ways that's one of the reasons people say freedom is slavery, because then it's all up to you. It's up to you, not the government or some other entity, to handle your problems. If you're really free, you'd be able to go over to that home and break out your weapons and say, you don't give me my shit back, I'm going to start killing everybody. And then they make the choice. Well, we're not going to give your shit back, so I guess you're going to have to kill us. Well, then you go in there and you kill them. Or you lose. You could lose. But still, the remedy is a whole lot more effective in a free society than it is today. So that's one example. So the reason why they say freedom is slavery is because in an actually free society, you are responsible for yourself. You are responsible for your shit. You are responsible for your family. In this society, in this Orwellian society, you can go and cry to the police about something, and they will do your violence for you. And you may not even get your shit back. So, what you don't know can kill you. What you don't know about your government, what you don't know about the United Nations, what you don't know about some of these scientists, will get you killed. It will get your family killed. It will get people you love killed. Alright, so Agenda 21, I just found the first article I could find on this. And I'm not going to hit the whole article, but I'm going to give you some idea of what Agenda 21 is and how it can get you killed. And then we're going to talk about some other things. This is going to be a long video. So this is at grist.com, or .org rather. I usually don't leave the links in the description box. I used to, but I don't think many people go and actually read the articles in detail. If you want to know more, just say something in the comment section, and I'll drop the links in the conversation. Alright? So Agenda 21, everything you need to know about the secret UN plot in one comic. Agenda 21 is the biggest threat to your freedom unless you regularly attend Yahoo-filled local planning and zoning meetings. You've probably never even heard of it. Until recently, this 20-year-old United Nations plan to promote sustainable development was known only to stalwart defenders of liberty and freedom like the John Birch Society. I'm not going to even touch who the John Birch Society is. They do have some good things about them, but they are just lackeys for the Republicans or conservatives, okay? You know how I feel, some of you, about each of these parties, but the underground resistance is about to go mainstream. GOP intellectual it boy Ted Cruz leads the counterstrike, and if this is the case, then we are in deep fucking shit. Okay? If Ted Cruz is the one leading the counterstrike against United Nations Agenda 21, we are fucked. And the Republican Party is even considering a public flambeing of Agenda 21 in its official 2012 platform. looking to help break the siege of bike paths and high-quality education on our freedom, here's what you'll need to know. Agenda 21. Wake up and smell the organic free trade coffee, America. Now, some Republicans and Tea Partiers in this particular comic want you to think Agenda 21 is just your typical stealth campaign of extreme environmentalism, but when you're finished reading this, you'll be terrified. Now, it's not, it's more than extreme environmentalism. A lot more. They call for a 90% reduction in the world population. We've heard Ted Cruz, or not Ted Cruz, Ted Turner, Bill Gates, Dickhead Rockefeller, who is now dead, among many, many, many others. I mean, lots of these people have this idea that we need to have a 90% or more population reduction of the Earth in order to save it. Agenda 21 was concocted by the UN during the 1992 Earth Summit and signed by the first president, and not George Washington, obviously, but Bush in the dark of night, rather. So they do these kinds of things when nobody's looking, when they think nobody's watching. They will pass these different bills that have serious effect on your life and the lives of everyone you know. They say that it may be a slight exaggeration. 8,000 reporters were in attendance when 100+ nations endorsed the non-binding agreement. And later, these things did become binding. Just because 8,000 reporters were in attendance doesn't mean they're going to talk about it in any real sense. Now, there's one of the Rockefellers, I don't recall which one, who thanked the national press for their discretion regarding their plans, and that without their discretion, they would have never been able to implement their plans. So that should give you some idea of how effective our national press is. It's not. Each and every day on the likes of CNN, NBC, Fox, all these different so-called news organizations, they do nothing but tell you bald-faced lies, with little bits of truth sprinkled in there for good measure. A comprehensive plan of extreme environmentalism and social engineering, global political control. That's what Agenda 21 is. And when you hear your local communities talking about sustainable development, they are referring to this, Agenda 21. Sustainable development is, and look, I'm not saying being sustainable in itself is a bad thing. Actually, quite the contrary. I think we need to get rid of the fossil fuels. I think we need to get rid of the pollution caused by a lot of these corporations. But these people, instead of wanting to do away with these industries that are polluting, they want to do away with the population, which, you know, even if they did get rid of the population, if they kept these factories and other entities going, it would do absolutely no good to kill off 90% of the population, because these are the people doing most of the damage to the environment. Look at Fukushima. They put Fukushima on a fault line in a tsunami-prone zone, and the result is exactly what you would expect. A natural disaster happens, and now we have the cores of at least 2 reactors melting through the planet. Eventually, it could very well reach the core of the planet. What happens then, I have no idea. So they took this description from a resolution passed in January of 2012 by Republican National Committee. But don't be fooled by that. Don't be fooled by that. Many of these Republicans, they will sell you out for the right amount of money, for the right position, for the right whatever it is they desire. If implemented, Agenda 21 would wreak unspeakable havoc on the American way of life, and it already has. It already has. It is a pledge to promote growth, eradicate poverty and hunger, and create stable, environmentally friendly communities. On the surface, that looks good, right? That would be a great thing for us to eliminate poverty and hunger and to create stable environments for our communities. But their solution to that is killing you. Is killing you. And this is what I mean when I say what you don't know will get you killed. And for Agenda 21 is around 400 pages long, and they say, for a joke, killing kittens must be in there somewhere. And by the way, they say having domesticated pets is not sustainable. So if you love your dog and your kitties and whatever other pet you might have, they think that because you own a pet, your carbon footprint is too big. Now, these guys are making a joke of this, sort of. They say, imagine what our lives would be like under this reign of terror. And they paint a very nice picture. And believe me when I tell you, I would much rather live closer to nature than what we do now. Look, the technologies we use today have been outdated for at least 50 years. For example, you know you can convert your car over to hydrogen just by retrofitting a hydrogen generator under your hood. It is not hard to do. How many of you know how to do that, though? And hydrogen would be a far better, a far cleaner fuel than what we are using now in gasoline and diesel. And the oil. But it'd be nice. It would be nice to have a nice, unpolluted planet. But it's not going to happen. There's a bright spot on this dark cloud, according to these people. Shortly after the Earth Summit, the United States forgot Agenda 21 even existed. And this is one of the reasons the globalists are so hostile to our country, because we're not going to fully commit, or let me think here, what be the good, fully commit, fully implement Agenda 21 without the use of force. Our government knows this. They know that the American people aren't going to go for this shit. Simply look around you when you're driving around. All of the cars that are surrounding you, all the trash, the fast food restaurants, it really does need to go. But in 1997, Widener University law professor John Dernbach found that there was almost no evidence that anyone in the U.S. was paying attention to Agenda 21. Aside from the RNC and a cadre of wingnut conspiracy theorists, this has not changed. They say the paranoid fantasy has been brought to you by the Republican National Committee, the water fluoridators, the government's mind jockeys, and the evil elves that live in your wallets, or walls. But it's not what they're describing, and yes, they've been paying attention to this. All you have to do is go to one of your zoning development meetings in your town, in your city, in your county, and they will be talking all about sustainable development. And again, it's not that I have a problem with making this planet better. It's that I have a problem with their solution of killing off 90% of the planet's population. And, by the way, I don't really have what you would call love for human beings. I don't. I don't like people. In fact, when I'm out in public, I pretty much see everyone I come across as a potential enemy. But there is a link to the Agenda 21 on the UN's website. And I knew when I opened this that they would be trying to whitewash it, and that's exactly why I chose this particular layout. They say the RNC's anti-Agenda 21 resolution will be considered for inclusion in the GOP's official 2012 platform at the party's national convention in August. Welcome to Crazy Town. Terrifying, isn't it? Alright, so in this Agenda 21, which is now Agenda 2030, by the way, they have what you call Codex Alimentarius. And I'm just going to do a crude nutshell description of what that is. It is the regulation of all vitamins and minerals to make it so an individual would have to go to a doctor to get vitamin C or B or any of these different vitamins. and it has a recommendation for a much lower calorie diet for the population. And of course, these people would be at their different social events cramming gobs of food in their face while telling the rest of the population that they have to do without for the sake of the planet. So, what you don't know can get you killed. Now, this is the Internment and Resettlement Operations Manual, published in 2010. In this manual, it outlines how you, your family, and everybody else is to be captured, processed, and put in an internment facility. I'm trying to get down to the diagram of the camp, the facility. And by the way, they have very, very clear rules as to how you are to be treated. And this is one of these rules right here. It says, at no time should restraints be used as punishment. And we all know that they don't follow their own rules. They would use restraints as punishment. Just look at your local county jail. If a person refuses to eat the shit that they're given, they will strap you down in a chair and force feed you, by the way. But they have it it's very clear that this is meant for the American people. They talk about in this manual how you're going to be processed with your Social Security number. Come on, it's moving too slow. Get to the diagram. I mean, they even have the kind of trucks and shit they're going to use in here. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. And then, of course, you have the continuity of government plans where they have all these bunkers built. They're more than bunkers. They have been building these big facilities underground. You might as well call them cities, because that's what they are. They're more than just bunkers. They have enough food, water, and other supplies under our feet to last decades. Decades. So, you need to understand that these things are not for you. They are for them, the ruling class. They have not considered the survival of the people in any way. In their plans. They're not going to be like Russia and build shelters all over the country for the population. Now, Russia has many, many underground facilities that are meant to hold around 100,000 people, and they have all the stuff in these places that their people need to survive for quite a while in these facilities. Damn it, where the fuck? My patients are wearing thin with this. This is not the one I'm wanting. In these facilities, they have places for PSYOP teams. And that's where re-education comes into play. Now, if you're a person who likes freedom and your way of life, and you really believe you're free here, and you want to maintain that so-called freedom, they will make an attempt to re-educate you. And if that doesn't work, the next step is killing you. Now, recently, the last 6 months, they have ordered 5,000 gallons of hydrogen cyanide. That's a lot of hydrogen cyanide. And that would be used for killing dissident people. I'm trying to find the layout here, because it pretty much spells out how you will be detained, where you'll be detained, and all that. So, bear with me here. Bear with me. I had it set up, but something happened, and I lost my place. And I've read most of this manual, so I know what I'm talking about here. Where the hell did the diagram go? I should have remembered the... Alright, I'm gonna go with this right here. Right here. This is H3 on page H1. The continuum also incorporates 5 levels of force. Ideally, the service member starts at level 1 and progressively moves up the continuum until the detainee complies. However, the use of force is dictated by the actions of the subject during the encounter. Subject actions may escalate or de-escalate rapidly, possibly skipping one or more level. There is no requirement for the following levels of force to be applied in order. So, they don't have to start with 1, they can start with 4 or 5. But level 1 is cooperative control, used to direct a compliant person, verbal direction, hand gestures. Level 2, soft control, used when cooperative control fails and the level of force required escalates. They are designed with a low probability of causing injury, compliant or non-compliant escort positions, use of hands, and other leg restraints. And they can put you in, make you sit in really, really uncomfortable positions where it's painful, and that's one way they have of getting you to comply with their whims. Level 3, hard controls. Used when escort positions fail and the level of force required escalates. They have a slightly greater possibility of causing injury, pressure points, joint locks, this kind of thing, pepper spray, stun devices. Level 4, defensive techniques. Used when hand controls fail and the level 4 or level of force required escalates. They also have a higher probability of causing injuries. Empty hand strikes and blocks, baton strikes and blocks, so on and so forth. Level 5. Deadly force. And by the way, they say this is to be used as a last resort, but you have to remember, a lot of these people, they are on steroids, and if you question their authority, they will automatically flip out and begin the level 4 and level 5 uses of force. And they say this is to be used when all lesser means have failed or would be impractical, used to prevent death or serious injury of or to self or others, to prevent the theft, damage, or destruction of resources vital to national security or dangerous to others, or to terminate an active escape attempt. So, when they talk about escape attempt, make no mistake about it, you are a prisoner. Now, let's hope I can find this other diagram. Come on. There it is. "100-person enclosures." There's the admin area, right? And they have it set up so people can sit right here and look down these corridors to see what's going on. You can see that there's laundry facilities, a mortuary, a small recreation area, interrogation rooms, visitation rooms, and they go through the requirements of each cell. Basically, it's just like the cells in jail. You may have a little more room, but I don't think so. I don't think you'll have any more room than a prisoner in jail. And here's another diagram. And they call us prisoners here, okay? Prisoner dining, recreation area, unmanned gates. These are guard towers that are around the perimeter of the facility. There's a 125-person sub-compound in which that's where you are to be re-educated if need be. Double barbed wire fence. I mean, it's all here. It's all here. So, make no mistake about it. These people have plans for you. And I don't think it has anything to do with Republican or Democrat. Okay? It has... Because people on both sides, on both the left and the right, are, by and large, for this. You do also have some of the politicians who are against it, okay? And what they will do with those politicians is they will be captured, and they too will be put in these camps along with everybody else. So when you get there, you have a receiving compound. Where'd my damn mouse go? Right here. You go in, you get searched. They make you shower. Right here. Then you go to the medical ward to be evaluated. And then you are handed your personal items, you know, your toothbrush, toothpaste, small bars of soap, and your uniform. And from there, you go to administration accountability. From there, you go to biometrics collection. From there, you go to property evidence inventory. From there, you go to records review. And then you get moved to your living area. And before that, you, of course, are held in this cell area. So, again, what you don't know can get you killed. And then we have the UN Strong Cities Initiative. And this is where the police departments, sheriff's departments are put under the control of the United Nations. So, what you don't know can get you killed. Ignorance is only bliss until it isn't anymore. I mentioned hydrogen cyanide. They also have, at the last known number, 30,000 modern guillotines. They have ordered replacement blades. And in the Affordable Care Act, it is listed, death by guillotine, is listed as a legitimate means of execution. So, ignorance is bliss until it's not. Because even if you choose to remain ignorant, at some point you're going to be faced with the very same things that you've been trying to hide your mind from. I mean, it sucks, I know. I know it sucks. But this is the world you live in. This is the world we live in. And they have very, very bad intentions for us. Anyway, I mean, I can go on and on and on about their agendas. But instead, I'm going to point to some of the things that are moving us in that direction. Global bloodbath. World stocks puke over $8 trillion as U.S. markets collapse. Okay? This is happening. And it's going to happen fast. One day, everything's going to be normal, or seemingly so, and the next day, all hell breaks loose. So, I just wanted to point this out to the people who choose to remain ignorant, because what you don't know will get you killed. What skills you don't have might get you killed. What training you don't have might get you killed. And I'm sure a lot of people will make it through just winging it because they're naturally talented. But what about those who aren't? Just saying. Just saying. People have been warning and warning and warning about this stuff since the early 80s. And the day is rapidly approaching where these things are going to start to be implemented. You don't spend billions of dollars building internment camps just to leave them empty. You don't spend lots of time drilling for these things and not putting them into practice. So, you decide. Am I lying to you? Anyway, I hope everyone has a good day. Kill the state before it kills you.